Have you ever wondered why some men just seem to have that natural effect on women without trying too hard, while others keep struggling no matter what they do? The difference is rarely what you think. It's not always about looks, money, or even charm. The truth is, women carry hidden weaknesses, soft spots in their psychology, that they will never openly admit. These are not flaws, but emotional keys that, once understood, unlock a completely different side of them. If you know these hidden weaknesses, you don't need to chase, beg, or pretend. Women will naturally respond to you in ways that surprise you. Today, I'll share the first 5 of these hidden female weaknesses men need to know right now. And if you pay close attention, you'll start to see how these little-known truths explain so much of female behavior. The first hidden weakness is women's craving for emotional presence. Most men think that what women want is grand gestures, expensive gifts, dramatic statements, flashy appearances. But what truly gets under a woman's skin is something much simpler and much rarer: your ability to be fully present. Emotional presence means you're actually with her, not just physically sitting beside her, but tuned in. It means you listen when she talks without half scrolling through your phone. It means you pick up on her tone when she says she's fine, knowing she isn't. This is a weakness for women because the modern world is full of distractions. Most men's attention is scattered everywhere. But when you give a woman your undivided presence, she feels valued in a way money can't buy. She'll find herself drawn to you, almost against her own logic, because presence is so rare and so powerful. Presence doesn't mean you solve all her problems. It means you are steady, you are listening, and you are in the moment with her. That alone makes you unforgettable. The second hidden weakness is her reaction to a man's quiet confidence. Many men misunderstand confidence. They think it's about being loud, being flashy, or showing off. But true confidence is quiet. It's the way you carry yourself without needing to prove anything. It's the calm certainty in your voice, the way you can make decisions without second-guessing every detail, the way you remain grounded when life gets chaotic. Women can sense this almost instantly. A man who has quiet confidence makes her feel secure. This weakness is not about arrogance. If you confuse arrogance with confidence, you'll push her away. But quiet confidence is magnetic. It's when you don't need to announce yourself, because your energy already does it. Women secretly admire men who are sure of themselves because it makes them feel anchored. And when you are the anchor in a storm, she can't help but want to be near you. The third hidden weakness is her pull toward mystery. Now, let me be clear, this is not about playing childish games or being manipulative. Mystery is about not laying everything on the table at once. Human beings are wired to be curious, and women especially love the feeling of discovery. When you tell her everything about yourself up front, when you reveal every detail of your life too soon, you kill the curiosity. But when you allow your story to unfold gradually, when there's always another layer she hasn't seen yet, she keeps coming back for more. Mystery triggers her imagination. And imagination is where attraction really builds, because it's not just what you do in front of her, but what she thinks about you when you're not there. A man who keeps a bit of mystery doesn't hide who he is, but he doesn't rush to reveal it either. He lets time do the work, and in doing so, he becomes a puzzle she can't stop wanting to solve. Mystery is a weakness for women because it taps into their natural curiosity, and once that's activated, you stay on her mind far longer than you realize. The fourth hidden weakness is women's deep need for a man who lives with purpose. You see, a man without purpose drifts, and when he drifts, women sense it immediately. You may think she's impressed by the money you make or the car you drive, but what really attracts her is your sense of direction. Purpose is magnetic because it signals strength, ambition, and vision. Women are drawn to men who know where they're going, not because she needs to depend on him, but because purpose shows leadership. It shows discipline. It shows that you're not easily swayed by distraction or comfort. A man who is driven by a mission, whether it's his career, his craft, or even his personal growth, pulls women in naturally. This is a hidden weakness because women rarely admit it out loud. They might say they like someone ambitious, but what they truly respond to is a man whose life has meaning. Purpose creates gravity. When you're aligned with it, you don't need to chase women. They're drawn into your orbit. And the fifth hidden weakness is women's attraction to a man who balances strength with vulnerability. This one surprises a lot of men because they're taught to always be hard, always be stoic, never show weakness. But here's the paradox. Women don't want men who crumble at the slightest challenge, but they also don't want men who are made of stone. They are deeply moved by men who can be strong yet human. Vulnerability doesn't mean spilling your deepest secrets to everyone you meet. It means having the courage to share a little of what you feel, to admit when you're having a tough day, or to open up about what drives you. When done from a place of strength, vulnerability becomes one of the most magnetic qualities you can show. It builds intimacy faster than anything else. Women respond to this because it makes them feel like they're seeing the real you, not the mask, not the performance, but the man underneath. And when she sees that side of you, she feels trusted, chosen, and deeply connected. That is a weakness she will never admit, but it's one that makes her bond with you in ways she can't explain. Now, as we've gone through these first 5 hidden weaknesses, notice the theme. None of them are about material things. None of them are about flashy tricks or manipulation. They're about psychology, about presence, confidence, mystery, purpose, and balanced vulnerability. These are qualities any man can cultivate, but most men overlook them. And because they overlook them, they keep trying to impress women with shallow tactics that never work. The truth is, once you tap into these deeper aspects of female psychology, the game changes completely. You stop chasing and women start leaning in. But this is just part 1. There are still 5 more hidden weaknesses to uncover. Weaknesses that go even deeper, that explain why women behave the way they do in relationships, why they test men, why they push some away and cling to others. Once you understand those, you'll have the full picture. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Because when you know all 10, you won't just understand women better. You'll understand yourself and how to show up as the kind of man who never struggles with connection again. So let me ask you, of the first 5 weaknesses I've shared, which one surprised you the most? Was it the power of presence? Or the importance of mystery? Or maybe the idea that women actually respond to balanced vulnerability? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I'd love to know what hit home for you. And make sure you're ready for part 2, where I'll break down the remaining 5 hidden weaknesses that will open your eyes even more. Because once you understand how women truly think and feel beneath the surface, you'll never see relationships the same way again. In part 1, we uncovered 5 hidden female weaknesses: emotional presence, quiet confidence, mystery, purpose, and the balance between strength and vulnerability. If you thought those were powerful, the next 5 will open your eyes even further. Because the truth is, women's psychology runs deeper than most men ever realize. And when you understand these final 5 weaknesses, you'll see why some men always seem to naturally attract respect, attention, and affection without forcing anything. Let's dive into the rest of these hidden truths that most women will never admit, but that every man must know. The 6th hidden weakness is women's deep response to masculine self-control. You see, most men lose control far too easily, whether it's with their emotions, their impulses, or their desires. They get angry at small things, they blow up when challenged, or they chase after every distraction that tempts them. But women are instinctively drawn to men who have mastered themselves. A man who can stay calm when provoked, who doesn't let his emotions dictate his actions, and who doesn't crumble when things get tough, that man awakens a hidden attraction in women. Self-control communicates strength, maturity, and dominance without a single word. It tells her that you are not easily swayed, not easily shaken, and not dependent on her validation. And here's the secret. The moment she realizes she can't easily control you, she starts respecting you. Respect leads to attraction, and attraction leads to loyalty. This weakness runs deep because self-control is so rare. Most men react, very few respond. The man who responds, who takes his time, who doesn't get pushed into childish behavior, becomes unforgettable to her. The seventh hidden weakness is her desire for protection, not just physical, but emotional and psychological protection. This one is often misunderstood. Some men think women want a man who fights everyone, who throws punches at every challenge. But protection is not about aggression. True protection is about being a safe place for her, while also being strong enough to shield her from chaos. Physical protection matters, yes, but in today's world, emotional protection is even more powerful. When a woman feels like she can be herself around you, without judgment, without fear of betrayal, she relaxes in a way she can't with most men. She lowers her guard. She lets her softer side show. That vulnerability she shows around you is not weakness. It's a sign that she feels protected. This weakness ties back to her natural instincts, and no matter how independent she is, no matter how strong she looks on the outside, there's always a part of her that craves the safety of a man who can be both her shield and her sanctuary. When she finds that, it changes everything. The eighth hidden weakness is women's attraction to leadership energy. Let's be honest, most men today avoid responsibility. They'd rather let others make decisions, they'd rather blend into the crowd, and they'd rather not stand out. But women are unconsciously drawn to men who lead, not in a controlling way, but in a guiding way. Leadership energy shows in small things. It's when you choose where to go instead of asking, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" It's when you stand firm on your principles, when you take accountability, when you create order out of chaos. Leadership doesn't mean barking commands. It means moving with certainty and having the courage to go first, whether that's in life, in decisions, or in facing challenges. This is a hidden weakness because women won't always admit they're attracted to leadership, especially in a culture that celebrates independence. But on a deep psychological level, women feel safer and more alive when they're around a man who can lead. It makes her trust you, and trust is the foundation of attraction that lasts. The ninth hidden weakness is women's irresistible response to unpredictability. Now, this is where many men fail, because they confuse unpredictability with instability. There's a big difference. Instability is chaos. Women hate that. But unpredictability is excitement. It's when you're not boring, not stuck in the same routines, not doing what every other man does. It's when you have layers that surprise her, when you bring new experiences, when you challenge her in ways she didn't expect. Predictable men are safe, but safe often turns into dull. Unpredictable men keep her guessing, keep her engaged, and keep her invested. This weakness comes from a psychological need for novelty. Human beings, and especially women, crave emotional stimulation. When you can bring unpredictability in a balanced way, without being reckless, you become addictive to her. She never quite knows what's coming next, but she trusts that it will be worth it. That combination of safety and surprise is a weakness women struggle to resist. And finally, the 10th hidden weakness is women's longing for a man who lives in alignment with his principles. This is the deepest one, and it's the one that separates the temporary from the unforgettable. Many men bend and compromise too easily. They say one thing, but do another. They claim to have standards, but drop them the moment it's convenient. Women are not fooled by this. They might tolerate it for a while, but deep down, they lose respect for men who lack integrity. The hidden weakness here is that women are profoundly drawn to men who stand on something bigger than themselves. A man who refuses to betray his values, even when it costs him, becomes rare in her eyes. Integrity is attractive because it signals strength of character, and strength of character is the foundation of true masculinity. When your words match your actions, when you live in alignment with your values, you create a magnetic pull that no amount of money, looks, or charm can replace. She may not admit it, but her heart responds to it every single time. Now that we've revealed all 10 hidden weaknesses, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. What do they all have in common? Notice that not one of them is about superficial tricks. Not one of them is about chasing, begging, or manipulating. Every single weakness taps into something deeper: presence, confidence, purpose, strength, protection, leadership, unpredictability, and integrity. These are timeless qualities that don't fade with age, status, or trends. And here's the most important part: every man can build them. You don't need to be born rich, tall, or handsome to tap into these truths. You just need discipline, awareness, and the will to grow. The tragedy is that most men never discover these weaknesses. They spend their lives chasing women with shallow tactics, getting frustrated when it doesn't work, and then blaming women as if the problem isn't in their own approach. But men who take the time to understand female psychology, and more importantly, to master themselves, never struggle the same way. Because when you embody these qualities, women respond without you having to force it. You stop chasing, and instead, you attract. You stop trying to convince her, and instead, she feels drawn to you without explanation. That is the power of knowing these hidden weaknesses. Now let me leave you with this. Knowing these truths means nothing if you don't act on them. You can understand that women are weak for presence, but if you're constantly distracted, it won't matter. You can know that women respond to integrity, but if you betray your own principles, you'll lose her respect instantly. These weaknesses are not tricks. They're invitations for you to become a stronger, wiser, more grounded man. When you do, you don't just understand women better. You transform yourself into the kind of man women naturally respect, admire, and desire. So the question is, which of these weaknesses do you need to work on right now? Maybe it's self-control, maybe it's leadership, maybe it's purpose. Whatever it is, start there. Because the moment you strengthen that part of yourself, women will feel it. And once they feel it, everything changes. If you've made it this far, it means you're serious about becoming the kind of man who doesn't struggle with women, who doesn't waste time chasing, and who doesn't get trapped in games. You're ready to step into a higher level. So do me a favor. Drop a comment and let me know which of these final 5 weaknesses surprised you the most. Was it her need for protection, her attraction to unpredictability, or her response to your principles? I want to hear it. And don't forget, subscribe, because I've got even more powerful insights coming your way that will take your understanding of women and yourself to the next level. Because the truth is simple. When you master yourself, you master the game. And when you master the game, women will never look at you the same way again.